Welcome. Podcast number 61.
Let's go.
I love it, man. What's up? Fragoza. Michael, what's up, brother?
Hey,
man,
how's it
thanks
going?
for driving.
Yeah.
We'll have a little cheers, man.
Yeah,
What are we
cheers.
drinking today?
This is I brought you a James E. Pepper.
Pepper,
James E. Pepper. I got a buddy, business partner in a different business that I do.
Wow.
That this is his go-to.
Wow.
You know, he likes. I say go-to. This is one of his favorites. It's $65.
It's fucking delicious.
You could put it on the shelf. You know, do it. It's your everyday, or it's not going to cost you a break.
really, really good. Bro.
Yeah,
Hold
it's
on.
good.
I got to taste it again.
Oh yeah, get into it.
So, go ahead.
We also brought you cigars. What do we get him for cigars? We don't have them
To
to smoke right now, but
they're the Weller. They did a Cohiba and Weller did a collab, so we got some of those.
so maybe we'll do that tomorrow. I don't know.
At the land, outside.
Yeah,
Definitely
yeah,
outside.
Yeah.
So, I've got this guy in front of me who was in the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit.
Yeah,
and
I didn't get paid at all for being.
But what is the card that you have? It's like an actor's card. What's it called?
So a SAG card. Now I'm not SAG. I'm what's called a must join. So I've done enough work to where if I do any SAG work, they make me join the union. But
something. Was it an IMG card or something?
oh, IMDb.
Yeah, what is
so
that?
that's less of a card and more of like a database. You know, if you do enough stuff and you say, hey, I want to be known for acting, you got to get a hold of IMDb and say, hey, I am who I am. It's like verification before Instagram was verifying everybody. They were verifying that people are who they are, which is interesting because, again, Fragoza, that name can't be taken by anybody else in SAG because I am Fragoza. That's why Samuel L. Jackson is Samuel L. Jackson, because Samuel Jackson was taken.
No shit.
Yeah.
So, your first paying gig was the hair products. What hair products?
It should have been.
Dapper Dan.
Yeah, Dapper Dan, man.
Bro, you have fucking beautiful
Thank
hair,
you,
man.
dude. I still got it. You
and
know,
and
I'm
you
gonna-
said you got a gig actually the other day because of your beautiful beard.
Yeah, so when I was doing this full time, acting, singing, and whatnot, I had a beard sponsor, and I'll give them a shout out. They don't sponsor me anymore, but I'm coming back. Look at it, it's coming back.
Yeah.
Boston Beard Company, I believe, is who that was. No, Boston and Tucker. Boston and Tucker. They're based out of, I think they're down in Texas now or Alabama, somewhere down there. Do beer oils and all that jazz, and yeah.
You think women actually like beards?
You know, there's a little group that actually
Really?
perverts. It's a weird group, yeah.
Small group.
Yeah, clean
Wow.
shaven. There's a whole
Is
different
it like a
group
Facebook
of women.
group? Of like, I love beards. Like,
Yeah.
I've never had facial hair ever in my
I
life.
think it's the lumberjack vibe. that
It is
they're
a
really
lumberjack
into.
vibe.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
I've just always been Jack,
It-
never
it-
the lumber.
Yeah, it is a particular type of woman. I
Jacked.
will say that. Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm really, really glad that you and Michael decided to drive here from St. Louis and do a little road trip. We had some nice dinner last night.
Yeah, we did.
We met online. It was was it Hinge? Where did we meet?
Grinder. I think that's what it was called. It's for guys who like really get out there and work hard. I think
Right.
That's the
push-up
that's
clan.
Yeah, that's
Exactly.
the website. So this is. I actually met you in one of my favorite ways to meet clients
Yeah.
because I preach this to all the guys that I talk to in sales and guys on our team who do sales. Is like, man, get on Instagram
Yeah.
and just message people. You know, you have access to them. You have a following. Even if you don't, like, hey, what's up? I saw your page. I think we can help in this area. If not, and I had actually messaged you probably about a month or two before you actually hit me back. We had just started. The company's collecting heads. We were maybe about a year and a half into it. I'm like, man, how do we get more business? I'm like, I'm just going to get on Instagram and I'm just going to, message 100 people and
Right.
see what's up. See if I can help them out. We saw that you had just started or you're starting to pump this show.
Right.
Real Talk with Mike Burke. And I said, you know what? This guy has great long form content, but he has no short form content. I bet you we could do clip cutting for him.
Yep.
We could run his social media. Let me just see. And that's, you actually called me. You messaged me back. Hey, I think you could help. Give me a call. And I was like, I think this guy's for real. Called you. You answered immediately. Hey, what's up? It's Fragoza. He's like, hey, man, no joke. 5-minute conversation. Send me your email. Send me this. I don't care what it costs. Just clip some stuff. And it literally was like happened so fast. And
So, one thing that I've been asked a million times is, how did you become, I guess, somewhat successful, right? And everybody has a different measure of success. I make decisions very fucking quick, and I stick by them. until they don't work, and
Yeah.
then I cut them loose immediately. So I'm a relationship person. I trust everyone immediately.
Yeah.
So you're batting 100 every single time I meet somebody. The very first time I meet you, you're batting
Yeah.
100.
So, and it's your job to mess it up.
it's your job
or
to fuck
keep
it up.
that, Yeah.
And when
that.
you become an F or a failing number,
Mhm.
I cut you off.
Yeah.
So-
and actually that's more of a fair way to do things than the opposite of, you know, you got to earn my respect, or you got to.
No, you already have it.
Yeah, and if you know,
you can do everything to lose it.
yeah. I forget who we were watching the other day, and you know, just to bring it back to why that is so successful and just reaching out to people. It's just the no, man. You just got to be okay with no. I grew up wrestling, very hard sport, a lot of disappointment in that. You know, there's a lot of trial in that. So someone telling you no, they don't want your product, like that was easy.
Well,
to
you've
me.
been told no your whole life. You're 5 foot, 125 pounds, and
But you got to give hold on. You got to give me the 4 inches. I'm 5'4". You got to give me the
5'4".
4.
Platform shoes.
4.
You're like the girls, man. You got the 3-inch.
Man.
You ever seen those shoes
I
on
have
Instagram?
seen those shoes.
The fucking,
for
they like
the
2 inch.
dudes. Yeah.
Do they work?
No, I don't know, man.
You have
look like
them,
would I
Michael.
look like I'm using them?
Yeah, he does.
If I was, you
On
would have
date
never
night.
known.
No, on date night when
never
you
on
actually
date night.
when you comb your beard and you
No,
wear those shoes.
You're gonna love
5'7".
this. So in college, this was my favorite move in college, and this worked at least 80% of the time.
Yeah.
Stand at the other side of the bar, and you know how old school bars, they got the little railing you could
Yep,
stand on.
yep.
That's a good 8 inches. So I just stand on that. I'm a
No
good looking
shit.
dude. Say hi to a girl, flirt with her. I'm like, hey, come over.
You know what the thing
You gotta
is,
come
man?
over, and then hop off when she gets over. You're like, hey, what's up?
You have such an amazing fucking personality. I think the first time you and I talked, I was like, salespeople buy from salespeople. Like if you have a good pitch and you believe in what you're saying and you're confident in what you're saying, whether you can deliver on it or not, you sold me. So I feel like a salesman is easier to sell than someone that's never been in sales before.
Yeah, as long as you know that, because there's a lot of sales guys that are 100% full of crap. As
Yeah.
long as it's
Right.
only like 60-40, 80-20, then it's like, okay, he's a sales guy, I can tell, but he does sound like he knows what he's talking
Who
about.
taught you how to sell?
By force. So so a little background on me. I grew up wrestling. I competed till I was 27. I thought that was going to be my life. You know, I thought I was going to be a competitive athlete, and for a very long time I was. And I got it was my second U.S. Open. I had a good first run, really rough. Had some good matches against two tough guys. But enough to where, like, okay, we're going to give this a shot. Let's try to train for next year. I was going through the whole process, and my second time through, I was weighing about 141 pounds, which is big for me. I wrestled at 125 in college and 121 pounds for international competitions, which is very small. So I'm weighing 141, super lean, cutting down, dieting. We were probably about 2 weeks out from U.S. Open, and my body shut down. I got a really rare autoimmune that flared up. We didn't even know what it was. Probably that was 2012-ish, 2010. I figured out what it was about 5 years ago from, God willing, I met a physician in St. Louis that diagnosed me correctly, and I finally have it under control. But it's a stress-induced. It's called erythema multiforme. You know, I'm
You ever been to foreign countries?
yeah, exactly. No, that's exactly what it is. And
You
it,
have a rare. No, I'm just kidding.
well, she said that I was putting my body through so much physical stress that it
Wow.
just said no more.
Wow.
And it shut me down, put me in the hospital.
What's it called?
Erythema multiforme. It's 100,000 people have it. It's very rare.
Oh, shit.
But every time I would work out strenuously for years, I just break out with it, and it's rashes. It's basically like eczema. You can't touch
Yeah.
things. I can't
Yeah.
hold things.
Right.
It shuts down your workout. So I
Man.
tried to come back. We tried about 3 or 4 different times.
Painful.
Very painful over the course of about 8 months.
Wow.
And then at the time, I was working at California Baptist University as a wrestling coach, assistant. And then I was working at UFC gym as a, mixed martial arts trainer, personal trainer, all that.
Take me into that. What's the model on UFC gym? Not to get you off topic.
No. Yeah. So
I've seen those pop up.
So those are
It was like
owned
an
by.
Orange Theory
Yep.
style workout for UFC.
No, Orange Theory is more of like a box with like classes.
Okay.
UFC gym is quite literally a giant gym with everything. Plus, they have they have MMA classes like,
Okay.
throughout. So, I'm working there. I'm teaching some MMA classes while I train, doing all this. They had to cut me loose. They're like, dude, you can't. At the time we thought it was hand, foot, and mouth disease,
Oh wow.
and so it's like that's contagious, right? Luckily this isn't, but I didn't know that for years.
Right.
So CBU, I was like, hey, I think I have to step away from this. I think I have to step away from training. I think I have to step away from competing. Oh my God, I have to get a job. Like I never thought that would be something. I had before I was even doing that at 27. I jumped into acting and singing, and I was doing that in LA at the same time. So I never thought I'd be the guy with a real job, and that totally flipped my world upside down. It was very rough for me, and really a depressing time in my life to go to sales. But luckily, I landed in a cool spot.
So let's hold a couple of those stories. Let's get back to sales. So you
Yeah.
think the secret to sales is just being okay with no?
I think attrition is a huge part of it. I think just the arduous journey of being told no, not a lot of people can handle that.
Right.
To get good at sales, you need repetition, and if you can't be told no,
How did you get good at taking no?
well, again, being told no. When I started, I was very bad at sales, and I started with a company called. So I left wrestling. Got hooked up with a job with Service Corporation International, which is one of the largest funeral and insurance sales companies in the nation. Got very lucky. A friend who says I always fall ass backwards into roses, and I do, by no credit to my own. But we had to do door-to-door door knocking,
Right.
selling graves, and
Graves.
and funeral policies.
What?
So if you want to be
Dude,
told,
that's
bro,
The
you,
literal Grim Reaper knocking on your door
no.
saying, "Hey,
you all are going to die. Let's go ahead and pick out your burial plot
No
today.
joke. No joke.
Dude,
And
that's fucking crazy.
I deemed
man.
myself the merchant of death because I thought it was hilarious.
Did you dress in
um,
black?
No, colorful. You gotta stay color. You gotta keep it light. Gotta keep it fun. So I would go door to door, and we would knock, and we just talk to people. Hey, I'm here with Dignity Memorial.
Yeah.
We have these.
How did that pay?
That paid very, very well.
Like what as well? What
By the end of it, I was making well over six figures. So anywhere from
when
like
was this? What year?
this is when I started. It was 2014 ish.
Yeah.
And again,
How long did you do that shit?
I did that for 2 years,
Yeah.
right? But knocking on the door, and this is a story that tells you how bad at sales I was. I'd been knocking all day, got no yeses, probably like 2 days in a row, no yeses, and all day. And I'm like, man, I'm gonna be really bad at this. And it's commission only. I'm gonna make no money. You're like, I'm gonna be so screwed. And this guy comes out, and I'm like, hey, I'm giving my pitch. And he's like, no, man, I'm so no, not interested. And I was so like overwhelmed with the objection. All I could muster was, would you reconsider? And he, and he starts busting up laughing. He's like, no, I won't reconsider. But he stopped me. He must have been a sales guy. He goes, but keep going, buddy. You're gonna be okay. And
Give
I
me a
wa-
little push.
yeah, a little push. And I was like, you know what, man? Thanks. And he goes, been a long day? And I go, yeah. And he goes, no, a lot of no's? I go, yeah. He goes, keep going. You're going to be okay.
Good.
Yeah. And so that was how bad I was.
It was a little light.
But you have to go through just a ridiculous amount of no's to understand the objections, to understand, and yes, it's scripted,
Right.
right? But to say the objection or the answer to the objection without sounding like it's scripted.
Did this help you in the dating game?
Oh my! Well, I was already pretty good at that lie. I was already great at that sales game.
Right, right.
But again, that was the same process. A lot of no's. Oh, why are they saying no? Oh,
Right.
okay, we've got to make you laugh. Okay, once you laugh, you loosen up. You know what? This guy's not so bad.
Right.
And it's the same concept when it comes to selling anything. You're saying no because you don't fully understand it.
I fell in
Right.
love with you.
Yeah, you don't fully understand it. So
I fell in love with Little Fergosa. I didn't even know you were little. Like I'd see you on fucking Zoom calls.
well,
and I'm
hey,
like,
because Tom Cruise, dude, you got to shoot the up angle.
He did, man. He was like, "Hey, man, look." I'm like, "This fucking dude. Look at this guy on camera, man. He looks rough. Like you're not a homeless guy, but
Nah.
you could pass for one."
Well, again, I still do a little bit of acting. This is the beard is a side project,
That's
and
cool.
it has gotten way more gray than I anticipated.
And I saw your Instagram. I saw you getting a barber cut or something. You were
Mm-hmm.
doing like, and then you rocked the mustache and all that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
rocked the mustache for a bit, did clean shaven
How'd
for a
you
bit.
meet this little dude over here?
Dude,
This is hold on. This
Yeah,
is
explain who Mike
So
is.
this is MacGyver over here, and he is like your calm, nerdy, glasses, hair. I don't know what kind of actor. What actor would you think he would
Oh,
be?
that's messed up. He's setting it up because someone called him that the other day.
I know what is
But
that?
it is
Tell me.
Seth Rogen, yeah.
Seth Rogen over
But
there.
a good-looking, slimmer Seth Rogen.
Yeah, he's chill.
Let's be fair.
He's got a little bit of the Jewish nose
We've
going on.
we've got a few differences, me and Seth Rogen, but
You're, the thing is, Michael is absolutely a whiz
Yeah.
with zero cockiness.
No, he's
Like zero.
super
Like
grounded.
zero.
So
Like
that's because I think I am actually bad, and so I overcompensate and try
But
to.
it's
I've
the
done that with
opposite.
every girl I've ever dated.
it's the opposite of guys like you and I. We're like, you know what? My stuff don't stink. I'm the man. I'm everything.
See, I don't
when
ever think
it's not
that.
true.
I
yeah.
actually, I'm so fucking insecure all the time now.
Yeah.
I really am. I literally think. I mean, Micah was making fun of me the other day. He had his camera out, and I look like a pug, and I didn't realize how many wrinkles I had in the back of my goddamn head.
It's character.
And he was like, "Fucking dude!" And he was zooming in. I'm like, "Stop!"
Well,
I don't think you can build a business or be successful in any way without a healthy amount of imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
It's just this the nature of the business.
So
What-
why SEO? I know Michael does SEO.
yeah,
And
so-
you're in marketing. So I look at
Yep.
Forgoza as more like the broker in charge. So if you're going to buy a house and you're going to need, whatever you need for the house, you need the mortgage, you need insurance, you need whatever for the house. You're not only the real estate agent, but you're the broker of services that whatever a business needs,
Mhm.
you're kind of the liaison of like, call me. I know all the nerdy dudes
Yeah.
that are not the sales guys that are doing robocall. They're the little IT guys in the background that can send great emails, but they're not going to call you first.
Well, that again, I'm so grateful to meet. We met at a men's group, so we go to
All
a
right,
men's.
whoa. Men's group,
Yeah.
explain.
Oh yeah. So there's a men's group. This is like the way we met on the grinder thing. That's so the men's group is really just a bunch of business owners,
Right.
business, people like him who are in tech who want to grow as an individual.
Right.
So we get together and it was on a bi-monthly or twice a month, and we just sit down and we talk about our lives and hey, are you going to the gym every day? Because I know that's not work-based, but that's endorphins. That is work-based.
Right.
That's energy. What are your relationships like with the people that you work with? Are they also people who are trying to grow, or are they just, slapsticks over here that are going to end up costing you time and money?
Right.
So we met there, and immediately, I gravitated to him because he is everything you just said. He's very analytical. He's calm. He's not overexcitable. He's very, very smart. And I said, okay. We work with a lot of people in tech, and if I have questions, I need people like that to call and be like, "Hey, dude, who's my buddy? Can you help us out with this? Because we have a client right now. His name's Mike Burke. I found him on Instagram. I'm in over my head with his SEO. He has way too many locations for me to keep track of. Can you give me some insight on this? Like, how should I approach this?" And he's that guy. So he's just the man, the myth, the
How
legend.
important is it for small business owners or even big business owners to get involved with these like men's groups and business groups and networking groups? I think it's pretty important.
Yeah, in my opinion, it's super important because if you ever are the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room.
Absolutely.
And I think that's the thing. I've never grown more career-wise, business-wise, or anything until I started going to places where people were better than me, smarter than me, and more successful than me, and that it actually propels you forward.
What's your background? Like college, school, anything like that?
All marketing.
Where?
So I was actually started in journalism at Mizzou for a little bit. Didn't like that. And then I switched to St. Louis University and went into advertising. And then, advertising statistics with a kind of a psychology background of it. So I'm really into the psychology of stuff, which I think kind of fits into the whole SEO thing because I'm studying why are people looking for certain services, how are they looking for certain services, and so it all kind of fits together really well.
I really never thought about it. I have a marketing degree from
Oh,
Western
really?
Carolina. Yeah, I have a marketing degree from college.
Okay.
And I worked in the car business for a little bit. But my story is I love marketing, and I had a marketing ad agency.
Mhm.
So let me explain.
But that tracks for you, like knowing you.
So
right?
I have a creative background, and I have a graphic designer that he and I became friends. And then I had another friend that had a direct mail postcard business that was like cellophane wrapped postcards, and he was wanting to launch other areas. And I was the sales guy for him. And then when I went out and sold sales for postcards in a pack mail that came out 4 times a year, every quarter, I would go into people and I'm like, hey, I need your logo. This lady that used to do it, she quit. And these are big fucking companies, man. The van wrap, man, the guy that did that for us, I mean, he's no longer in business. They couldn't find the van wrap. They couldn't find the logo. Hey, business cards. Do you do business cards? I mean, this is like 20 years ago, right? This is before Vistaprint.
Yeah.
And so, like, literally, they wanted glossy post.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you know what, Grick, redo their logo, get this, get that. Next thing you know, I sold business cards, T-shirts, letterhead, anything they needed branding-wise for their business. And then all of a sudden, they would go, well, your website needs updated.
Yeah.
Then I would hook up Mike.
Yeah.
And so I just became a broker. So once I built the relationship, I just kept asking questions. I can't sell you this form of advertising and do the creative if I don't have the bones of it. And so I would go in and just ask for simple little questions like, hey, where do I get your logo? Where do I get this? And they're like, we don't know.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you don't know?
That's easy.
You're $1 million company.
Let
and
me
you
fix
don't know.
that for you.
Yes.
Well, think about, if Stephanie's not watching, she's my business partner.
Yeah.
But how many times we have to try to find, hey, we just started working with this client. All right, get the vector. Hey, we just need your vector. What's a vector?
Right.
I'm like, oh my, this is going to be a long one.
Yeah,
We're in
exactly.
trouble.
Yeah. So, I mean, we have a Dropbox with probably 10 terabytes.
Well, you were the rarity. Like when I had met you and we linked up, everything was turnkey, and we're only doing a very small portion of business with you compared to all the other stuff that you have going on.
The thing is, I don't mind working with a broker because I don't have the time to go find that little dude that says, hey, can you do reels for me, or can you do this for me, or can you do that for me? And what I love about you is you answer the phone
every time.
You answer the phone
anytime.
You respond to a text. Okay, and you get shit done. When I say just make it happen, you make it happen. So to me, that is worth $1 million. So if any business owner's ever wanting to grow their business, number one, answer your phone.
Yeah.
Number two, my voicemail says, don't leave me a voicemail.
Yeah.
Text
Shoot me a text.
You're next in the queue. So I have a queue. So I get text, and I go glance through them. And I purposely don't open ones unless I'm ready to reply.
Yeah, because then if you open it, you'll never see it again. You're like,
so I'm like, I'm not, I'll get to that one in a little bit, blah, 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 because that one's going to take 15 minutes, that one's going to take an hour, and I'll rapid fire back out. So I get them in the queue, and whoever's in the queue, you're next in the queue. And I rate them on importance, like, what do I need to do now?
Yeah.
So in business, answer your fucking phone.
Response time. That actually got me a client one time. It was, I forget what event I was at. It was late night, maybe 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. We're having drinks, we're having cigars, we're talking, and this guy's asking me if we can handle business, what's our response time? I said, we always answer the phone, we're always working. He said, you're not always working, like right now you're not working. I said, yeah, we are. We're working right now. He's like, no, you're not. I said, okay. My web developer, Stephanie, again, shout out. I said, I'm gonna text her right now. I need you. We're going to get a call within 5 minutes. And he's like, whatever, right? So, I need you for something. Put my phone in my pocket, no joke. 2 minutes later, phone rings. I go, hold on. Stephanie, false alarm. Don't worry about it. And he's like, dude, it's 10 o'clock at night. I said, dude, we're working. We're in business. You're in business. If I meet someone like you that needs to solve a problem by tomorrow, then we are working.
Right.
Because I don't know where you're at in your business.
I think you guys were a little bit impressed with my buddy Mike Dickerman. He said, hey, get in whatever you need by 5 p.m. I will submit it to my team in India, and it'll be on my desk at 9 a.m. when I'm coming tomorrow.
Love that. Yeah. Super impressive.
They're working while he's sleeping.
Yeah.
So he's churning and churning and churning. He's so efficient. It's incredible.
Yeah, it's a really smart move because I started putting ideas in my head like, man, how can we make efficiencies that way? Because right now, we just work. We don't. We're the American team and the Indian team.
Right.
Yeah, that's.
But the thing is, when you're grassroots and you're still cash flowing.
Yeah.
Cash flow is a huge thing. So if the audience doesn't know what cash flow, tell me what cash flow is.
So I'm going to quote Jim Collins because I'm going through his second book for the entrepreneurship BE.2. Cash flow is your blood. Without it, you die. And that's a direct quote from him. Same guy who wrote Good to Great. If you don't know who Jim Collins is and you own a business, go read his stuff. It is the only thing that keeps you alive, and without it, your company will die because you need it to operate it. You need it to pay your people. You need it to. We're an ad company, but we need it for our own ads. Like, you need ad spend. You need to be, you need to be marketing, and even for the marketers, you have to have cash flow. If you don't, you're dead. You're dead in the water. You cannot operate.
Some of the advice I give business owners across the country is quit worrying about your ads and worry about your close rate and your sales pitch. It needs to be perfected.
Mm-hmm.
And if you go back and have dead leads, give them to someone who is a different professional and see how many you can reclose.
So that's huge. That's such great advice. We used to do this when I was doing grave sales because every salesperson isn't right for the customer.
Right.
And so I would have a backlog of, hey, I didn't sell these people. And then my coworker, she's very different than me.
Yes.
She would have a backlog and say, give me people you can't close. I'll give you people I can't close. And we would swap leads, and we would end up closing other people. It's just crazy how it works like that.
Audrey, this is my girlfriend. She's over here. Would you buy from me? What'd she do?
No.
She's shaking her fucking head. She's like, hell no. Architect, brilliant, detail oriented, needs the facts, needs to sleep on it 2 days, like makes a decision a week later. So me, I'm impulsive. I'm like, yeah, that's fucking dude's cool, man. He's fucking got my back. Yeah, hell yeah. I didn't research that he just started his business. He has no Google reviews. I liked him.
Yeah, we're still 3 years into this, and this actually circles back to how I got into sales. I did that for 2 years, and I'm a sales guy through and through, but I'm a musician. I'm an artist. I'm an actor.
What do you play?
Piano, guitar, and then I'm a vocalist as well.
Who taught you how to play piano?
My mom taught me how to play piano.
Yeah.
So she was a recording artist in the 70s. She had about 3 or 4 albums. She toured around. She's very, very far more talented than I. She did Christian contemporary.
Okay.
Actually, Christian. I guess she would be more gospel. I did more, Christian contemporary indie pop. Like, that's kind of what I did. But she passed away about almost a year ago now.
Oh man.
And when she passed, I was going through her stuff, and I found a notebook with all what I thought was going to be written songs that she had written.
Right.
It wasn't. It was just a weird list of names of songs, hundreds of names of it's not exaggeration. Hundreds of names of songs with the key they were in. And I was like, "Okay,
Wow.
Dad, what's this all about?" He's like, "That was her tour book." I'm like, "What do you mean?" Like, that's what she took on tour to know what to play. And I'm like,
Wow.
"Hold on, she had all these memorized?" And he's like, "Yeah, dude, your mom was good. Like, she could just sit
She was
down."
insane.
She's like, "What do you want to hear?" She's like those the dueling pianos.
Yeah.
You sit down and you're like,
Oh,
"Hey,
so-
play me
I
this," and
love
she'd be
that.
like, "Oh, I love that song." And but for Christian music,
I'm freaking sick.
she was that kind
So
of
piano, what else?
guitar, and then mainly I was a vocalist. So
you
that's
can sing?
oh yeah, that was the main thing.
Have you
I
ever heard him sing?
I have.
am
How
not.
bad is he?
Well, we were singing in the car the whole way
And
up
he kept
here.
turning on the
Doesn't mean-
radio.
that doesn't mean
So
shit.
it's pretty.
I sing in the shower, and
Yeah.
I still can't stand the way I sound.
Well,
I think I sound great in the shower.
I'll tell you one thing. I was much better before I started smoking, 2 cigars a day.
Really? I've never smoked. I
Yeah?
don't smoke. I don't
Smokes.
smoke.
Well,
whatever.
then I'll steal your cigar. that we got
I've
for you.
actually had a cigar once or twice before, but the thing is, no one's ever really kind of taught me the right way to smoke it. Like, I'm
Okay.
like,
Well, yeah, there's a particular way so it doesn't suck.
Yeah.
And then also, but there's so many benefits cognitively as
Yeah.
when you're sitting down and you're
Yeah.
talking business. Like it just enhance like the nicotine
I have no
enhances your
problem,
cognitive skills.
trying some things. It's just one of those things where it's like I never saw any need to do something because the smell was so bad.
Yeah, if you full disclosure, if you do not like the smell, it is not for you.
Yeah.
I got into it. I had a wrestling coach that I worked with, Arsen Alexanian. He's the man, the myth, the legend when it comes to wrestling. He is coffee and cigar. That's his thing.
Right.
And he got me into him. But what we've found is that when you have a cigar, the phone goes away, It usually takes you about 2 hours to smoke one,
Oh, right on.
and it forces you to. There's a
didn't
lot of
think about that.
silence. There's a lot of
Mhm.
silence, but we have gotten to know each other over cigars, and that's why I've probably only known you about a year and a little bit, year and a half.
Yeah.
And
Year and some
man, you're
change.
one of the closest people to me in my life because we have shared so many
That's cool
cigars,
though. Yeah, I like
2,
that.
3 hours at a time,
I
just
just share
digging
the
in.
sauna. I sit in like 20 minutes. I'm just kidding.
That goes back again to the way we met.
Well, there's you always have groups of friends that you'll go to a bar, have a beer, and you're watching the game, but you aren't really interacting. You're
Right.
pretty surface level.
Yep.
And the nice thing about a cigar is that there's not the game. You're talking and just being okay with silence. I
Right.
think is super important.
I'm learning that the older I get. How old are you, Michael?
31.
And you're
Young gun, 39.
52. So it's taken me probably 10 years to actually and I'm not going to say probably, it's taken me 10 years to get comfortable in my own skin,
Yeah,
to actually listen to my voice in my head.
yeah.
Because I used to hate the guy that I was 10, 15 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a huge chip on my shoulder and had an ego, and all I wanted to do is prove everybody wrong. And now I have this outlook on, I have so many lives to help and save, and not save, but like help people see the full potential that they don't see in themselves. And so that's something I really am passionate about, is finding people, even in the gym. I mean, Audrey and I were leaving the gym this morning, and true friends can fuck with each other.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you're walking out of the gym and I'm over there harassing this dude and I'm over there telling him jokes and get your ass in the gym, you're looking fat, and he's not. He's looking great, you know, and you're just fucking with him, right? And it's the locker room.
Yeah.
And I walk up to everybody and I'm making fun of them and I'm high-fiving them, and then they're laughing and they're cutting up and they're joking. It's like you care about the people you care about, and you can mess with them, and that makes the relationship tighter, in my opinion, when you can actually just cut up and talk shit to each other.
Yeah. Well, there's a vulnerability there, I think, because if you had friends, and it seems like you did have friends, like I had friends very young, man, you jokingly said, "Hey, man, I'm gonna make fun of your height on the podcast." I was
Right.
like, dude, you can't. There ain't nothing you
Right.
could say that
Right.
that literally. I say I do have actual brothers, but the kids I knew in kindergarten,
Right.
they all got tall. I don't even know. I was right
Right.
there with them till about 7th grade, and then I was like, where are you guys going? Like, you're leaving me. And so they have roasted me beyond. You can't make a short joke that I haven't.
But the thing
heard.
is, you've got such confidence in who you are now.
because of
Because-
them.
Yeah.
And they
Did it
said,
help you?
They said, I think it did. It's the whole Johnny Cash, A Boy Named Sue. I knew I was gonna be around. I had to name you Sue. You're either gonna get tough or die. Like, if we don't make fun of this kid, like, this kid ain't growing, guys. They probably had conversations behind my back.
We
What are we
gotta
gonna do
toughen his
about
ass
that
up.
dude? We better make fun of him, or he's gonna be. If I wouldn't have found wrestling, I would have, because I got picked on a lot in 7th and 8th grade.
Right.
And in high school, I found wrestling, and there was actually a moment. I don't know if I've ever told this story, because I do a lot of podcasts. Never told this story, and I won't say who it was, but there was a basketball player who was picking on me, and literally slammed my head against the locker in the locker room. And we had these old. You remember those old school lockers? This one had like a piece of sheet metal that was
vents.
that was in between. Well, it came out at the bottom and at the top, and
Okay.
it protruded a little bit at like a lip, and it literally was a piece of sheet metal. And something in me just snapped. Like, I'd been picked on my whole life, but now I have all this wrestling knowledge, and he's big, tall guy, 6 whatever. I literally like hit my head, jumped on the bench just so I could wrap my hands around him, put him like full. They call it a full Nelson, underneath one arm, behind the head. Put him in a full Nelson and reared back, and I was aiming right for that spot. And right as I like was going, my other wrestling buddy tackled me, and thank God he did, because I probably would have went to I would have really hurt him. And we became friends afterwards. Like, his eyes were this big. Like, what did I just walk into? But without wrestling, without that confidence, I would have been a different person for sure.
Right.
It made me. I always tell people, it's 2025 now. I identify as 6'2", dude. That's just how I identify.
You're larger than life, man. I mean, your personality is insane. What got you into sales and marketing now?
So I left. Wrestling didn't work out, so I went into sales. Kind of cut my teeth. Did it for 2 years and realized that I could sell. And if I was going to sell, I didn't want to sell this. I was like, I don't want to sell graves. I don't want to sell funerals. I'm an artist. I'm an actor. I'm a musician. I'm a children's book author as well. Like I'm gonna spend all my effort selling my things. And so I spent the next 3 years doing my own thing. I ended up doing a lot of acting stuff in commercials. I had an agent. Shout out to Kurt, my first agent out there in San Francisco, Wild Models. I went on tour all over Northern California playing music, and I had a couple children's books out. Like I was selling my stuff, and I had this, I had a very weird occurrence that got me back into it. So I was selling my stuff, doing art, doing all that, and I had this really weird connection to Missouri. I came out to Missouri for a thing called Camp Barnabas. It's a camp for special needs. It was through a church. They had invited me out as the celebrity guest, so to speak. Like that's where I was in my acting and music career. It's like, hey, do you want to do the golf tournament? Yeah, I want to do the golf tournament. Cool. Hey, we're climbing Mount Shasta and we need another person. Like we'll pay for you to go, but will you go with us? Yeah, I'd love to go with you. Hey, we're going to Camp Barnabas. You don't have to pay anything, but will you come with us? And so, I was just super blessed to be around people who wanted to be around me. And I came out here. I say here. I came out to the Midwest, saw St. Louis, and said, I felt, call it the universe, call it God, call it whatever.
Right.
You need to come out here. Like this is where it's at. And I'm like, I think you're wrong. First off, I'm in San Francisco. I just had my first Super Bowl commercial. It's definitely not where it's at. And I just kept feeling a calling and calling and calling. And I ended up jumping off a cliff, coming out, making no money, had to stop doing acting, had to stop doing singing because there's no money in the Midwest, St. Louis. In Nashville maybe, but not in St. Louis.
Yeah.
And I ended up calling that company again, Service Corporation International. I said, hey, I moved out here for a worship leading job with a church. They were paying me $1,000 a month. Nothing, so I called up that company. I said, hey, man, I'm doing Instacart. I got a master's degree, and I'm doing Instacart. I need to come back. I need to sell again. I'll sell graves again. Like, whatever. I just need money. And I did that for the next 5 years, selling graves in St. Louis, making very good money. I made California money in St. Louis.
Half the cost of living.
Yeah, I was very, very blessed. And then I got into this because I was tired of making millions of dollars every year for somebody else. And,
right.
After they show you each year, like, hey, you made us 1.2. Hey, you made us 800. Hey, you made us $1 million. That's great. Wow. Okay. Well, I can sell. What am I doing?
Well, I'm only getting 10%.
Yeah, why am I only getting 10%? This is ridiculous. And so I had already known Stephanie. She did a lot of graphics. So Stephanie, again, is my business partner. She did graphics and social stuff for me when I was doing full-time music.
Where's she at?
She's in Guadalajara, Mexico.
Love Guadalajara.
Yeah. Mexico's beautiful. And
I actually have been there.
You've been there?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
I was in Guadalajara, stayed at the Hard Rock.
Okay.
I worked there for about, a week and a half I was there? Yeah, a little over a
Heck
week.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, our joke, inside Collecting Heads is Stephanie can't die. If Stephanie dies, we're all screwed because she does.
It would go down.
Yeah, he knows. It would go down. And I said, hey, you're in Mexico. I'm in the U.S. What do you think about me trying to find you some U.S. clients? And she's like, that's interesting. She had her own marketing company there in Mexico. We did that for about a year, and I worked my sales job. Like, it was at the point where, they have this thing called overemployed, where you're so good at your job, like you could do another one. I was day trading and finding her stuff. It wasn't hard for me to sell anymore. So I was getting bored.
How important is building your network? Like the networking of people. Like you met her through what? And then you met him through what? And then like everybody in your circle right now, there's a story of how you met them and then brought them into this team.
It's all networking is 1000% the way to go, but there's a problem with networking that is what networking is today. People are going to networking groups, and we actually talk about this in the men's group. Hey, if you're here just to get some business, here for the wrong reasons. My buddies, the guys that I'm still friends with, who, you know, are connected to UFC and are fighters and
Right.
have names, and I'm blessed enough to have their number and all those things, like my network, so to speak.
Right.
They're only in there because when we go out and have a beer together, I'm fun to hang around, and I'm not trying to always glean,
Right.
you know, glean something from them.
Right.
When Michael and I first met, I wasn't trying to do anything. You know, obviously I knew I wanted him around me because he was so smart. But if I would have walked up to him and been like, "Hey, Michael, I have a marketing company and we do SEO, and I know that you do SEO, and I'd love to pick your brain on how we could do SEO," he'd be like, "I'm staying away from that guy."
Right.
Because the intent is, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, you know, Michael, like, how do you approach it? Because you do a very good job of it as well.
Yeah, I don't. I think I just go into most situations and I don't care. Like, I care a little bit, but I think, like, honestly, like, if you're just like, "Hey, I want to pick your brain about SEO," I'm like, cool, because I don't get to nerd out that much, you know. Like, you're always in some sort of, like,
I know that feeling.
you're always in some sort of professional situation or sales situation. Everybody's trying to get some stuff done, and so if someone literally comes up to you and be like, "Hey, talk to me about the thing that you're most interested in," I'm like, "Oh, let me tell you about Excel spreadsheets," and then and you're like, "You're gonna listen to this? Cool." Yeah, so I just
when we do
yeah.
our Zooms, I'm very grateful for what you do and the information you bring to the table, like the knowledge, and you come about it so quick and simple and to the fact, and like the numbers are, and like I'm apologizing for this because Google changed this, and then we're working on it for this, and then I'm like, sounds great, man. Sounds like you know what the fuck you're doing, bro. The car is in good shape. Okay, we're gonna keep the oil changed, keep it going. Let's go. And
Yeah.
you know, the company I was with before, they oversold themselves as this bigger company, that they know more and that they're bigger and they're more important. It's not that I'm really glad that I met you guys, but I'm glad that I'm meeting hungry, aggressive people, because when I build relationships with people that are hungry and I give them a not say a bone, but like I'm helping them while they're still small, so they'll remember me when they're big.
Well,
Right.
it's okay to say a bone, because, you know, quite literally, the reason why we preach to reach out to anybody and everybody, because you don't know who's gonna say exactly like you. You know, you were not in the spot to take on a little company like us to do clip cutting or whatever. But hey, man, we're fresh, we're hungry, and I think I told you that.
Hungry.
You said why you? Why are you different? I said, because we need the business. You know,
Hungry.
because when you call me,
When you're fucking
Yeah.
hungry, man.
I'm gonna answer.
I answer my phone at 9
Yeah.
o'clock at night. I answer my phone at 6 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Not anymore, but like at 6 to 8, I've cut off that time period. That's my personal time. That's my development, to go to the gym, to work out, to get my head right. From 6 to 8 every single morning. And I've said this many, many times on this podcast, but it's very important to allocate a block off section of time for yourself
Mm-hmm.
throughout the day, to whether it's 1 hour or say from 12 to 1 or from 6 to 9, whatever hours you block off, you just go on your calendar on your phone and just block it off, and it's blocked. Like that's your I have a standing appointment every single morning between 7 and 8
Mm-hmm.
or 6 and 8. That is my time.
Mhm.
I bought it. It's paid for. If someone's offering me $1,000 an hour for those 2 hours, they can't get them.
Mhm.
I paid for them.
And that's when we text Audrey if you're not answering.
This is true. But no, it's just super important to get your mental health.
Yeah.
How is your mental health?
My mental health is strained. When I moved to Missouri, I had no grays. I was 30, no grays,
Wow.
0. I've been there about 7 years. And this goes back to just, you know, a little bit of faith, a little bit of God. I had to take a huge leap to do that. I left the life I wanted. My life was, I wanted to be an actor. I wanted to be a singer. I wanted to do the damn thing. That's what I want. And I was doing it. Like I said, I had just had my first Super Bowl commercial. I would go into a bar and they'd be like, "You're the, how do I know you, dude?" And I'd be like, "Oh, I'm the guy on the San Francisco Giants commercial. That's me."
Don't you-
Oh, and it gets free drinks. Let's
Dos Equis-
go.
What's it? Dos Equis- What's the guy that's the most interesting man in
Yeah.
the room?
Dos Equis.
I wasn't that, not even near.
He
Not
looks
even,
like
yeah.
that guy a little bit.
If you're, hey,
He's got the
Dos
beard.
Equis, if you're
Yeah.
ready, hey, if you're ready to run it back, Dos Equis, we could run it back right now. I wasn't there, but it was a big faith jump for me to leave that and go into obscurity. And
What
yeah.
gave you the courage?
Again, faith. Like, so this is just such a nuanced thing, and I don't know if if you're watching, you're like, I don't believe in God. Okay, we'll call it the universe, just to like help you out.
Yeah,
So
superpower.
yeah, one of the things
The
that I
aliens.
was the alien. Yeah, I don't care what you call it, but one of the things I was very concerned about is I already said I had $1,000 a month. Anybody anywhere knows that's not enough money to live, and so I sat there and I was like, okay, God, if you want me to leave this success that is building to go to Missouri, the unknown. I know no one there, right? And I'm gonna do it for $1,000 a month. I need a place to live. I don't know, $250 a month. Like it's got to be $250 because that's I do know
Did you even have a car?
I did have a car that I bought for the sales gig. I'm like, I got a car payment. I know if I'm spending $250 there plus electricity plus my car payment, I'll have enough to eat, but I'll never get out of that hole. But I'll be where I feel like God is calling me, where the universe is calling me. And I called up the church that wanted to hire me. I did. I promise you, I did not give them a number. I said, you know what? I feel like I'm supposed to ask if someone has a place for me to rent. Let me know. They called me back about 30 minutes later. The young girl's name was Natalie. She was the girl who really pushed to get me hired. She said, it's a funny situation. Our secretary, her husband has a house. His mom's in a nursing home. She can't make money on it. If you pay the mortgage, you can live there. It's a two bedroom, one bath. I go, what's the mortgage? She says $250. Dude, I promise you, it's an insane story, and it sounds fake.
It sounds bullshit.
It really does. It really does.
Well, what
I got
mortgage is $250?
yeah.
So.
I got the receipts,
The one from 1957
and so
Yeah.
and so I
that
lived.
she refinanced twice.
Yeah, exactly. I lived there twice. I lived there for 2 years. And I had worked for sales for 2 years. I saved up money and I had this epiphany. I said, I'm gonna move to Nashville. I got 2 years of sales. I made a bunch of money. I'm gonna move to Nashville. I put in my 2 weeks notice at work. I said, I made you guys a bunch of money. Thanks for hiring me. I told you I was gonna quit when I started. Appreciate it. I'm moving to Nashville. They knew I did music. I put out, songs while I was there. They get it. And he says, you know what, man? Why don't you got to buy a house in Nashville? Why don't you wait till you buy your house, then move? And until you do, we got an apartment you could live in and do month to month. And so I see the apartment, and I'll give you one guess how much they charge me to live in that apartment. $250. $250 to hey, check this out. Oh, this is the crazy thing. $250 to live in that apartment. 3 months later, COVID hits. I lived there for 2 years. If I would have moved to Nashville, I would have been effed. Moved to Nashville for music with COVID, I would have been screwed.
Where do you live now?
Ass backwards into roses.
Where do you live now?
So I worked there for 2 years. I saved up again, bought a house in St. Louis. I rent out all the rooms. It costs less than $250. I make some money on that house. So I've been
live there too?
Yeah, live in the
You just said you ran out all the rooms. You sleep on the couch.
basement, baby. Basement living. So
you live in the basement, and you rent out all
you're
the
gonna
rooms.
love this about me. You're gonna talk about like, okay, business owner. I'm gonna do whatever it takes to make it. That's cool. When I moved to Missouri, I had nothing but a sleeping bag. That 2-bedroom, the spot in Farmington, Missouri, that was 2-bedroom, 1 bath. It wasn't furnished. I had my camping chair in the living room, and I had my sleeping bag in one of the rooms. I slept on the floor in that same sleeping bag for 6 years.
Sleeping bag?
In a sleeping bag for 6 years.
Your
and
back's probably perfect. though.
Perfect.
I'm not kidding. They say that sleeping on the fucking floor is actually good for
And
you.
the only reason we bought a bed is because, again, Stephanie lives in Guadalajara. She flies in every once in a while. And when she flew in from Mexico last time, she's like, if I don't have an Airbnb, you got to buy me a bed. And I was like, okay, well, so we bought her a bed, and she has.
Do you sleep in a bed now?
I do sleep in a bed now, but again, it's that bed we bought her, and when she comes into town, I'm back in the sleeping bag.
That's crazy. What's your story, Mike? You married, right?
Yeah, married, 2 kids. Just
How old are your kids?
one's about to turn 4 this summer, and the other one's about to turn 1
Oh,
next month.
Freshie.
Yeah. So that's been a lot of fun.
And the wife? How long you been married?
We've been married since 2017.
How'd you meet her?
So I met her in high school.
No shit.
Yeah. So
That's the way to do it right there.
I met
No,
her
it's not.
at my friend's
That's a biased opinion.
at my friend's 16th birthday party.
Have you ever
And,
dated anybody else?
No, I actually brought a girl to that party, and
Dirty dog.
yeah.
In high school.
In high school.
So you've been dating the same girl since high school.
Yeah, since senior year of high school.
You've only really, wow, that's incredible.
It's been a lot of fun.
1950s, baby.
Yeah,
You're like the traditional man.
Yeah, well, it wasn't my plan, but she roped me into it. I was like, I dated her, and I was like, you know what?
Do you still love her?
We're gonna break up.
Do you actually still love her?
Yeah, of course.
Really? Damn, man.
Dude, she's the only reason I keep it together.
Really?
When they talk
Yeah, yeah.
again, he'll get a phone. He's like, "Hey, what's going?" Like he's still
She's
super
probably
excited.
Super hot.
Yeah, she is.
I'm marrying you, baby.
Yeah.
I know I'm 17, but I'm marrying you.
Yeah. Even since high school, she's had like
I think I wanted
a great butt.
I think
That
I
was the
wanted.
first thing
I think I
brought me
wanted
in.
to marry everybody at 16, 17, 18.
Yeah.
It's like whole. It's like
Everybody was cute. Yeah.
the hormones are going.
No,
stupid.
she's great.
Yeah,
dude.
man.
That's awesome. Man. What does she do?
So she was a teacher,
Yeah.
and now she's a stay-at-home mom.
Really? So you
Yeah.
make enough money to keep her home?
Yeah,
You keep
It's-
eyes on her. You work at home too?
I work at home.
Do you have your own office, like a private door and all that?
Yeah.
Like you can have a soundproof room where you can talk and like do your stuff and everything.
Yeah. Own my own office. She painted it.
How many
It's great.
computers you have?
How many computers?
Not computers. It's screens.
Look at him
No.
geeking out. He's over there like, nobody's ever asked me that question before.
It's not computers. It's screens. That's
Screens,
Screens.
yeah,
How
yeah.
many
How many?
screens?
So I usually have about two computers on at the same time.
2 computers on.
with an extra screen for each,
Okay.
and then
How big are the monitors?
Total. Oh, how big are the monitors?
50 inch?
No, not 50 inch.
You don't have like
I-
a whole wall.
I
Like
think
the-
my biggest is like 32.
See, right here, I would have the computer right here. I'd have a TV with the game on. I'd have the TV with a podcast on, and then I'd have the monitors with. I'd have 50 inch, 50 inch, 50 inch, 50.
Micah's over there. Why is that not behind me?
Because he's
Let's
over there in the
go.
corner,
Come on,
bro.
Micah,
He's in the
let's get
corner,
this set
man.
up.
He's
Yeah.
already. He's got my fucking credit card. He spends my money every day. I get on my Amex. I'm like, fuck, 6,000, 5,000. What the?
Well, hey, I will tell you this. So, a separate business that I own in St. Louis is renting out spaces like this for podcasting
Yeah.
and photo. This
much-
is one of the nicest podcast setups I've ever seen. You know,
Really?
the black. Oh yeah.
Seriously.
And I've seen quite a bit the Black Magics and the Sures and the way that you have it positioned. Like this is primo.
Is it pro?
It really is
Could
pro
we rent this
primo.
out?
Oh,
I don't see
yeah.
why
For
you
more
don't.
than we're renting ours out, we charge like $250 an hour. You could rent this out for we're-
Micah, $250 an hour, bro.
no more. No, for this, ours is not this nice.
Like, what do you think? $300-400 an hour?
If he's gonna cut live and you're just gonna give a a card, or here's your SD card, you could do $350 an hour, $360.
Micah, you get half.
Yeah.
Start booking it up, bro.
And point of inspiration.
Airbnb podcast.
We
Mike.
won 10%.
No, 4%.
For the idea.
I'll take. You know what? I'll take it. So
Actually, it's so funny. I had Shaq Thompson on the other day. He's one of the Carolina Panthers, and I was asking what his agent made, because he was talking about agents.
Yeah.
It's only 3%. I thought it was a lot more than that.
no, I mean, well, okay. So that's the path I thought I was gonna. I have a
Like
ma-
agency.
Yeah.
Like
I-
what'd you pay your agent?
My agent's 10. So
10.
for acting is 10. Usually management is 10. So you're usually giving up 20%.
What's
But
the-
for sports is different.
What's the most money you fucking made acting?
Not
like
a-
really, like
not a lot, dude.
$200?
No, a couple thousand.
Really?
Like, yeah.
They
like,
paid you a couple thousand?
Yeah.
For what?
For day shoots. Like usually that's the rate. So
What'd you do? Get on there and smile or something?
Yeah.
What the hell did you do?
the best paying job, and again, this is not a good paying job. Most people who are watching this who did modeling and acting, they're like, that's not even a good day, and it's not. I think I made like two or three grand for Apple, and it was a half day shoot. So yeah,
Apple?
yeah.
You did something for Apple?
Yeah.
What the hell did you do? What'd you do?
What'd we do? We
you have
had
beautiful hands. I mean, was
I
it?
know, yeah. It was a little bit. They paid for the mani pedi, dude. You got to do what they want. I did. So when they were launching, you know how they have Apple Pay. When
Yeah.
they were launching Apple Pay, you can actually go online and find not Steve Jobs, but the current CEO who was there talking about Apple Pay. The announcement for Apple Pay, I was the model who launched Apple Pay.
Get out.
But yeah, so my
And
buddies.
you only got $2,000.
I know it's not. Again, it's not that much.
They're
So-
worth $1 trillion. You can't
Okay,
even
but
get
here, check this
$2,000.
out. So that was all happening when I was leaving San Francisco. So in that contract
Yeah.
was a writer for billboards.
Okay.
And so they have all these different riders in the contract. Like, hey, we're going to give you $2,000 for the shoot. It's going to be a half day. I think it was like $2,600. We'll pay for your manicure, pedicure. We're going to do some hand modeling stuff. We're going to do like face stuff on all this. Okay, cool. But there's different riders that they can choose to activate if they so like. If they choose to do print in magazine, that was a rider. If they print billboard, that's a rider. None of those riders got activated. They ended up doing another shoot with a different model.
I know, Michael, I know you've probably heard this 1,000 times. I've only heard it 6 times on this podcast. He was in a Super Bowl commercial. Tell me about that. What is it? What is it? Tell me what it was, Michael. You tell me.
The Super Bowl commercial?
Yeah, tell me. Because
I've never seen it.
Yeah,
I assumed it was for something like
I heard about it. I heard about it. But what is
the reason we talked about this before we got on the show. He's like, "What are you going to talk about?" I was like, "Honestly, I've done so many podcasts. It's probably going to end up being cookie cutter story. That's why I repeat stuff sometimes." It was a Hunter Pence, if you know who that is, baseball player, right fielder for the Giants.
Man, I don't.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not, and here's the bullcrap.
I'm not a sports person.
Like, if you're not from San Francisco, you're not going to know who that is.
Right.
You know, so it's not even a big deal.
So you did a Super Bowl commercial with him?
With him.
It's a local commercial, though.
So it's a local Super Bowl
commercial. Okay, so it wasn't like the national.
No, they would have paid me through the freaking teeth for that.
That's what I was. Okay,
no,
right
no.
Right. So you just did like the Time Warner cable
and
Spectrum.
That one actually
thing,
paid.
Right?
That one paid a couple grand too.
That's cool.
That was one where I forced my way into that one. That company.
What'd you do with that one?
So it was Dwyer Productions. I got hired to do the Super Bowl commercial for them, and I'm on set, and I'm there, and I met, a runner or they call them PAs.
Yep.
Met a PA, and I was like, "Hey, dude, so I've been acting and modeling for a while. How do I do what you do? Like you're here."
He's getting paid every day to be on set.
Every day. I only got paid one day.
Dude, Michael makes money all the time just holding the fucking camera.
It's bull crap. And so
Michael, what do you get paid from Fox and all those people when you do like the sports stuff?
Yeah, not bad. Yeah, he's not gonna do stuff. And so I see this person running.
He just holds a camera.
Yeah.
He's over there like holding the camera.
And I know there's multiple days because they're like, okay, this is day 6. I'm like, day 6? I'm here. They got me for 4 hours. I'm like, I'm here for 4 hours. I'm making a couple grand. This person's here for 6 days. Even if they're making a couple, they're making more than me. Hold on. And so
just to be there.
Yeah, I asked her who the production manager was.
Yeah.
She pointed me over to a guy named Will Dwyer, and I harassed the poor dude. I harassed him every month for like 4 or 5 months. Like, hey, dude, I'd love to work as a PA. Hey, we don't hire actors.
What's a PA called?
Basically a production assistant.
Oh, right on, got it.
And it's just like, we don't hire actors.
Right.
And I'm like, why don't you hire actors? Honestly, because you're dicks. You think you're cool. You think you're like, I want you to go get my coffee, and I want you to put 2 freaking Splendas, and if you don't, I'm going to knock it out of your hand and be like, get back to Starbucks. And I was like, you don't understand. I will get the best coffee for you. And I was like, no, you don't understand. Blue collar company.
Bro, have you ever heard of Nespresso? I'll buy the fucking machine if you hire me.
Yeah. I said, I know. I'm blue collar. My
Yeah.
dad runs a landscaping company. I've been shoveling rock since I was 10 years old. I will get the coffee. I will say, yes, sir, yes,
Did
ma'am.
they hire you?
They hired me. And
Look
so
at this dude.
I worked.
He's so fucking
He
persistent.
sold himself.
Yeah.
He's like the girl that asked the girl out 17 times in a row, and 18. She's like, "Fuck it,
Just
I'll
to
go.
get me to stop.
I will go eat breakfast with you."
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing about sales. It's like so many
Persistent.
people get embarrassed when they're trying to sell themselves or sell a product that someone
Ask for the business.
until they say no.
Keep asking.
Right. It's so
asking.
easy to say no.
I do that with my girlfriend all the time.
Come on, babe. Can we please
She's
do
over there.
this? Yeah. Can we please do this?
I'm very persistent.
So I made way more money in production than I ever made in front of the camera.
Yeah.
And they can't
So
tell you you're ugly.
We've got a few more minutes left, and I want to go into a little bit more detail. If you're a small business, how important is SEO, Michael?
I mean, I'm gonna sound super biased. It's one outside of proper branding. It's probably number 2.
If you were a small business, what type of budget should you spend every month on SEO?
Well, if someone comes to you and says $500 a month, they're probably scamming you, or they're probably not doing much at all.
You mean like an
I think-
agent?
I
When you say doing much, like what do you actually fucking do?
Here we
That's
go.
everybody's question.
Here we go.
Bull
I
crap.
mean, Elon Musk is getting the 5. I just want 1.
Yeah, yeah.
He's
so,
asking the government, like, what'd you do this week? Give me 5 things you did this week. I just want 1. Like, what do you tell me what you do?
yeah, so a huge part of SEO is content creation. I think that's a that's
Okay,
a biggest
content
part.
creation.
Content creation.
Explain content creation.
So writing blogs, creating new pages on
What's
the
a
site.
blog?
A blog is
An article.
an article about your business,
Okay.
about an idea that you have involving your business that positions you as a thought leader in the space.
Being relevant.
Being relevant, yeah. So when people have a question about window tinting, about anything about it,
Anything.
other than where
Right.
can I buy window
So a
tinting,
blog's
you're
an
showing up.
article. It's giving information to the customer, and Google finds it and then
Right.
lists you. What else?
Right. It's making sure your user experience is good on your site. So when people go to
Explain
your
user experience.
so when people go to your website, they can easily get to where they want to go. They can easily convert.
So the navigation screens are very easy. It's like
Right.
playing a video game and knowing where the controllers are and knowing, make it easy, friendly.
Right. Or if you go to a website and it takes too long to load, you're screw this. I'll go
Say that
someplace
again.
else.
This is
Yeah,
very important because
gone.
we did a seminar. I'm not fucking bullshitting with
Gone.
Thad, one of our marketing directors,
Yeah.
and he actually did a seminar on load speed.
Right.
If your website, like 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi,
It's
3,
over.
they're gone.
Yeah.
It's anything over a second.
Mm-hmm.
So you have less than a second for your
How
site
do you
to load.
fix that?
So a few different ways. You can fix it either through your image sizing. A lot of people just upload the highest quality images,
Mhm.
but you're looking at these things on your phone. They
Mhm.
don't have to be super high quality. They aren't going on billboards.
Right.
The other thing is how the site is structured. A lot of times people are trying to load. This is super nerdy. People
No,
are
I
going to try
wanna-
to.
I wanna
people-
nerd out,
People
please.
are going to load
Nerd out,
every
let's go.
single script
Nerd
in the
out.
background as fast as possible, all at once. People are trying to load the entire page when, if the user's up here, they don't need to see what's down here. So why are you loading every piece of content down there? So you need to, they call it lazy loading. Load the rest of your site slower and only load what the person can actually see.
Okay.
Those are the biggest things.
How many
on HubSpot.
websites need help?
Well, the
Shut
thing,
up, for God's
I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was like,
the thing
answer.
about SEO is 80% of people are clicking that first link. And there's things outside of that first link, the Google business profile. There's all these things that are stealing traffic. Ads are only getting about 12% of the overall traffic.
Where's
which
the other
is-
traffic come from?
Usually, so everything's going mostly towards that first link because that's what's the most trusted. Then the second and third link is getting, a small percentage outside of that. And then the rest is really advertising. The
So
thing
SEO means search engine optimization.
Right. We're optimizing for the search engines, and search engines mean more than just Google and Bing these days. Search
What else?
engine means AI.
Like-
So when you're in ChatGPT, people are
Mhm.
using ChatGPT. People are using social media to search for things.
Explain ChatGPT. What is it?
So with ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, anything like that, when someone types in, what are the best window tinting places out there, you need to be showing up. And so those AI search engines want content, not only fresh content, but content that is geared towards what people are asking. So when they are giving answers, they'll usually cite their sources, and we want one of the sources to be you,
Mm-hmm.
to be whatever.
How
your
many
business
are
is.
Sunstopper sources now? Like, do you think we're ranking pretty good?
Yeah, just in general.
Yeah.
Well, as of last time I gave the report, Sunstoppers
Yeah.
is ranking #1 for tinting Tesla Model 3s.
We went from 50 position when we first met you, and
Yep.
and we took over SEO. We started at 50, your top 3 position for Tesla.
Tell me why that happened.
So we started writing more content on Teslas and window tinting Teslas and the benefits behind it. So Google's starting to see that and recognizing, okay, these guys know a little bit about Teslas, they know a little bit about window tinting. The other thing that we started doing is on your actual Tesla service pages, we started going in and adding more, not really adding more keywords revolving around Tesla, but we started wording things in a way that users are actually searching for.
Right.
So when they're typing in, should I get window tint for my Tesla, or various topics around that, we started wording content around that so that it would seem to be the most relevant content out there, and it would start showing up.
So what
first.
other things are you doing, like little tips and tricks that you can do?
SEO wise, I think
Backlinks?
yeah, backlinks is a good one. So backlinks, we are linking your website and your content from other reputable sites so that Google sees, okay, this site is good enough that other sites are actually referencing it and sending more traffic there. So they're like, we should actually promote this site.
How
even
big
more.
is sunstoppers.com website?
It's
like big.
It's a huge website.
It's monster.
Yeah, it's
I've heard that. I've heard it's like it's a monster. Like it's a monster site.
it's probably too big.
You're mispronouncing headache.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's probably too
And
big.
what are we doing to clean it up? We're
Well,
redoing it, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're redoing the whole site.
How
And
bad is that motherfucker gonna be?
It's really cool. It's really
And-
cool. It looks like I always compared it to like an F1 site. Like if you had like a Ferrari or
Say
something
that
like
again.
that.
Yeah.
F1.
Now
baby.
again, and we can't say we're because that's Diggerman.
Yeah,
Like
but
he-
it's a team effort.
yeah.
You're involved. We have a team of multiple people, right?
Yeah.
We've assembled the team. Who
Yeah.
assembled that team?
Chaos.
Who assembled that team? I saw the vision.
Yeah.
Right.
I found the strengths in so many different people, and now I have them pulling together, which is incredible. That's what small business owners need to do. They need to realize what they're not good at and get the strengths of other people.
Yeah.
You're nerding out, and I love it. Like I'm geeking out just listening to you. I'm like, yeah, like I'm like, you know, I'll put my glasses on and I'll start listening to you. Now it's funny when my best friend tells me when I put glasses on, he actually listens to me.
It makes you seem like you
Oh.
you know what you're talking about
Hold
a
on.
little
Yeah,
bit.
there
Hold
you
on,
go.
Hold on.
It's like
Michael, let's start talking.
no,
Yeah,
Clark
yeah.
Kent. There's a whole Superman thing going on.
The cool thing about what we're doing with the Sunstoppers website though is the biggest mistake a lot of businesses make is they say, well, business is down, or they get a little bored with their business. They're like, I'll just redo the website. I'll do a new website. We need to rebrand. We need to do something else. And then they just create a new website, and all of a sudden their business disappears overnight.
Overnight.
Overnight
Their
because
business is gone.
because they change
Well,
their
according to
not
Google.
not just business, but their revenue disappears because they don't have proper SEO. You have to have proper SEO when you're switching new websites, and that's what we've been working so close with your team.
Are we doing it right?
Yes, we are, and I think that
Takes time,
and-
patience.
And Mike Dickerman too. He knows what he's talking about, and we're all on the same page of what needs to be done and how to make sure that we keep the same traffic, keep the same keywords,
Question.
everything.
It doesn't have to be a right or wrong answer, but do you think a year from now, working with myself and Dickerman and Sunstoppers will help elevate you in your game and selling other future businesses?
Yeah, honestly, because
The data.
well, your site's so much fun to work with because you already have so much authority that we can try very innovative things,
Right.
and we can see the effects happen a lot quicker than we could with like a brand new website.
Right.
So there is a little bit, if it makes you feel good or bad, I don't know, but it's working. We do some trial and error stuff with your website because we know we're going to see
What do
quick,
I tell
quick
you to do?
results. Make it happen.
What do I tell you? That. What else do I tell you to do? Be innovative.
Yeah.
We're going left. When everybody drives right, I'm going left.
They zig, we
Here's
zag.
the thing.
Yeah.
If I go left and I go far enough to where I feel like I'm not getting anywhere, I'm going to turn around and I'm going to hit NOS and I'm going to catch back up to everybody on the right.
Right.
Well, when you fail fast, you know, and you've learned this because I've heard a lot of your story and how you got to where you're going and how you became who you are. When you fail fast, you you find out what doesn't work. Oh, that doesn't work. I'm gonna stop doing
Pivot
that.
quick.
Pivot.
Well, that's the philosophy because we work very, very fast.
Yes.
And so I think that's the thing. Like Google came out with a new algorithm change. We saw your site, we saw everybody's site tank significantly. And then we jumped in there and we said, okay, what did they change? Here's these changes. Let's make these changes. We went through the entire site, made the changes. Your
Week
keywords
later,
popped
boom.
up, and your positions in Tesla, home and office, they strengthened.
Right.
And so, and that's the thing, is you popped up above your competitors in areas that are very hard to rank for because we were fast and they weren't doing anything about
If anybody
it.
wants to work with you guys and they want help in their business for marketing, SEO, websites, or any of that kind of stuff, how do they get a hold of you?
Yeah, Instagram, Collecting Heads, or collectingheads.com.
Collecting Heads.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that name?
Oh,
I don't
Tony.
like it.
Yeah,
It's stupid.
yeah, you love it.
Sounds like a
Yeah,
fucking
you know-
rock band from
you
the
know what?
70s or
You
80s.
love it.
The Collecting Heads.
You love it. that is quite. It's a collective of people, and
I get it.
I had to do that because again, like you said, I'm the connector, right?
Right.
It's like what exactly do you do here? Well, I don't do much.
You're the switchboard.
I'm the switchboard. I know, and that's what Collecting Heads is. I know a lot of very, very talented people. I connect them. Stephanie helped me start it. Stephanie does 90%. We have pillars, our in-house pillars.
Yep.
And we don't share these publicly, but we're gonna do it right now. It's work hard, never sleep, be cool, and don't die. Because if Stephanie dies,
Be
we're in
cool.
yeah, be cool. Because that was Stephanie's, and she
Mostly
said we got to
for
be
her.
cool.
I like that. In business, you want to be successful, be fucking cool.
Hey, but if she dies, we're all in trouble. Like Stephanie does so much work. We work with, we work with outside consultants that we reach out to, like Michael. Like, hey, we can do a lot of this work, but we need experts to consult with us and tell us where we can be better.
Right.
And that's what Collecting Heads is. We have people who do.
How many
photo
people are
video.
hard to do business with? Like just difficult. Like it's like, you tell them what they need to do to do it, and then they're pulling teeth. Like you can't get them to do it.
A lot of people, I think
Yeah.
people are scared
Why do you think they're scared?
Well, I think people are scared because they're afraid of, well, if I spend this money and it doesn't work, then what
Then
happens?
what?
And I think the thing is, well, if you don't spend the money and you do the same thing, then what happens?
If you don't ask the girl out, you didn't get the date.
Yeah.
Right. And I think any true entrepreneur or business owner, like everybody, you aren't a true entrepreneur unless you've been sitting there at 2 a.m. with your head in your hands thinking, what the hell did I just do? And so spend the money. And if it fails, it fails. But I
Right.
guarantee,
Did you wait tables?
for SEO,
You waited tables, didn't you?
I bartended for 8 years.
What did you do? You
Oh,
bartended?
yeah, waited tables.
Waited
Yeah,
tables?
did the
I
whole
waited
damn thing.
tables.
I had 4 jobs in college, all part-time jobs.
I don't think I
Paxson,
could get a
Hollister.
modeling job right now, but like.
No. Hey, dude, you'll learn. Hey, again,
You know what?
there's a
thing is,
look for everything,
I will
dude.
tell
We'll
you
catch
this. I'm
up.
going to end the show on this. I was on a fucking plane. No bullshit. And the dude would not take a no for an answer. He thought I was Dana White. Swear
Hey,
to God.
that-
The dude
that's-
literally was like, "Are you Dana White?" And I'm
that
like,
checks.
If I was fucking Dana White, I'd be on my goddamn private jet.
Exactly. Hey,
Like,
I'm,
what the
I'm,
fuck,
I'm
dude?
playing.
I'm playing. I'm sorry.
Southwest
I'm with
Coach.
my secret mistress, and I'm on an
Yeah.
incognito, whatever. And like, no, it's stupid. And
Yeah.
then they go, "You're Joe Rogan and Dana White."
If
I'm
they
like,
had a baby.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, all I can do is wrap it up.
Yeah.
Michael, thank you for your knowledge and experience. For Goza, it's nice that you still have a home.
It's true. Hey, this is true. Without good people around me, I would be homeless. Hell
Do
yeah.
you brush that thing or what?
I have to. Yeah, you got to
That's
keep it
awesome,
clean.
man.
You don't understand how much pomade it took
Do you
just
have
to keep
color
this
in?
on.
Do you have like a color in me?
No,
I'll
God.
buy-
I need to. Look, I mean,
I
this
think
whole
I'm gonna
thing's
go buy
white.
some at CVS this
Yeah.
afternoon. But
Hey,
color that
What's
shit
the
Use shoe
what's
polish.
the dye just for men
Just for men.
Hey, just for men. What's up? I'm here.
Come
I'm
on,
ready.
man.
What are we doing? What
Look,
are we wasting time
in.
for?
You got the hair on the top
Yeah.
that looks so fucking good.
What are we doing here?
And then you have the you're 70.
You know, I feel like I'm
and
talking
you're
to myself.
30.
Come on. Just for men.
It'll pay
What's the
off.
problem?
It'll pay
Yeah.
off.
No
What,
shit.
what the
Yeah.
problem is?
Well, thanks for the podcast, guys.
Yeah.
I appreciate you coming here. And if anybody wants to know how to run their business, don't call me. Call Fergoza, and then he'll call me, and I'll charge him double. See ya. Bye,
Oh,
guys.
yeah.